Hi, welcome to Lachlan Likes a Thing, a show where I take a thing and see whether or not I like it. Now the thing we're looking at in this video is the V-Moda Crossfade M-80 portable headphones. Now a lot of you have been telling me on the YouTube comments and on the Facebook page that I really ought to check these headphones out, so finally I got a pair off the Headphone for Trade forums. Now these retail for a recommended retail price of $230, but obviously you can get them for less. And in this review, we're just going to talk firstly about the design and build quality of the headphones, and then we're going to go into the sound. Now, first off, the M80s have quite a reputation for build quality, and that's because they've apparently been built to a military standard. So they have a headband that can take lots of abuse in terms of bending and kind of force applied to it. In terms of materials, they have a really nice mix of high quality plastics and a metal headband, a metal faceplate, all up quite a durable, kind of well-built package. Now, maybe this is because my pair is a slightly used pair. I found that there's a slight creakiness that you can actually hear when the headbands move, and I actually found that sometimes when I'm listening to music and moving around, I can hear these kind of creaks. Now these have a 2-year warranty, so what I'm going to do after this review is I'm going to just drop a line with V-Moda and see if this kind of thing is covered under the warranty, and if there's any updates, I'll update the description of this video to reflect how that warranty process goes. Now, in terms of comfort, I think these headphones are quite a comfortable pair of headphones. One thing is that in terms of clamping force, they aren't very tight in terms of clamping force. So on the one hand, they're quite comfortable. On the other hand though, they actually don't feel quite as stable on the head as something like the Sennheiser Inferior or the Audio-Technica ES10. The other thing is that in terms of noise isolation, they are about average. They don't actually block out a great deal of noise, and that might also be because of these bass ports, which are just on the back of the headphone ear here, that will let in some degree of sound. Now, as for the cable, what's really nice about this cable, you get 2 cables in the box. It's a detachable cable. You get 1 cable with iPhone remote, with a 3-button iPhone remote, and then there's another cable that comes with a 1-button remote for Android smartphones. And what's really clever about both of these cables is that they've put the microphone module close to your mouth, but they've actually put the controls further down the cable where your hands are, so it's a little easier for you to use the cable. And the cable is a braided cable. It's quite nice. It doesn't tangle very much, and it terminates in a slightly more than 90-degree angle jack. So overall, this is a well-built cable. Apparently it's Kevlar reinforced. It's very durable. Another thing that's worth mentioning about the M80s is that they come with this really awesome carrying case which fits the headphone perfectly, and it stores your extra cables. One thing I didn't like about this carrying case, unfortunately, is that you do need to detach the cable to put it into the carrying case, which is kind of a little annoying. And the other thing is that the headband, just because I need to extend it a little further for my head, I have to readjust the headband each time I put it back into the case. So that's a little unfortunate. Now, in terms of sound quality, the M80 is a very rich, bassy sounding headphone. So it's got a real kind of chunky sound to it. The highs are fairly rolled off, and overall, compared to something like the in-ear pair of headphones, the Shure SE215s, this is a similar sort of equivalent in the portable headphone world. The M80 definitely sounds bassier and kind of richer in sound than something like the Sennheiser Inferior. So it's much less aggressive, and it's got a signature that works especially well in noisy environments or when you're traveling, because it won't get too aggressive in sound even if you turn up the volume quite high. And so all in all, it's quite a nice signature. Now, if I was to nitpick about the sound, because overall actually it's quite a good, robust sound, if I had to nitpick, one thing is that the bass is slightly thumpy and slightly slow in character. So it doesn't have the kind of laser kind of slam that the Inferior has. And in terms of clarity of sound, in terms of sound staging, it's not quite as clean as the Inferior. And it's not quite as clean or as spacious as something like the Audio-Technica ES10. Now, this is obviously a cheaper headphone than the Audio-Technica ES10, and it's about the same price now as the Sennheiser Inferior because that's going on clearance at the moment. So again, if you can find the Sennheiser Inferior for a similar price that I paid for mine, which is about $160, that's the portable headphone that I would recommend. If you can't find it for that price, I do think the V-Moda M-80 is a very competitive headphone, especially if you're looking for a bassier sound, and I'm very happy to put it on my recommended list of portable headphones just because it's a well thought out package. It's a nicely built portable headphone with a really agreeable sound that's especially good for kind of modern studio recordings. If you listen to classical or maybe more kind of jazz or that kind of thing, you might find that this headphone is a bit muffled. Maybe not to your taste, so have a listen to it. If you are after a bit more of an all-rounder, I would recommend something like the Audio-Technica ES700 or perhaps the Sennheiser Momentum. Anyway, thanks for watching this review. I hope it's helped you. You can talk to me on Twitter at LockLikesAThing, or you can talk to me on Facebook at facebook.com/LachlanLikesAThing. Thanks to everyone who's liked my other videos and subscribed to my channel, and happy listening.